you can please take your seats. I would like to cede the floor for a few moments to the hotel security who will just give us a few things to take note of.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Habimbola Oyekomi, and I welcome you to Lagos Continental Hotel. I'll be taking you through safety and security brief. Lagos Continental Hotel is a building with 23 floors and 2 basements. You are currently on the 3rd floor, Grand African Ballroom. So in your likely event of fire or any other emergency that could lead to emergency evacuation, please, on hearing the alarm, do not panic. Just walk out of this meeting room to the foyer. On getting to the foyer, please make use of the spiral stairway which will lead you to the ground floor at the lobby. Once you get to the lobby, please find your way to the left-hand side of the building. That is your drive-in. That is where the assembly point for guests is. Do not make use of the elevators because all our elevators will be grounded. Our emergency response teams are readily available to guide and direct us in case of any emergency, and our firefighting equipment are available and duly serviced. We have a partnership with Federal Fire Service, Awolowo Way, in case of any fire incident. And because we respect your privacy, there are no CCTV cameras in this meeting room. Please, in case you notice anyone who is not part of your team, kindly notify the security personnel by the elevator, and the needful will be done. Please keep your belongings safe. If you have any medical assistance, we have a mini clinic and there is a nurse on duty to attend to you. So for your convenience, just before the elevator is the male and the female restroom. There is no fire drill or fire alarm testing today. Thank you. Please enjoy your stay.
Thank you very much. Just to tack onto that very quickly, for the hall, it's very important that we keep the aisles free of movements. That includes the entryway from the exhibition area into the main seating area. I'd also like to remind us, our phones, if we could put them on silent, please. Also check your media play. It's not enough to put your phone on silent, your ringtone on silent or vibrate. Your media play, that's your volume button, please turn it all the way down. You don't want a video to sneak up on you. All right, thank you very much. Once again, my name is Nabila Osman, and on behalf of Noor Takaful, your win-win partner, I'm happy to welcome each and every one of you to the 2025 Surplus and Claims Distribution Celebration. We do have piggybackers. Noor Health and Raha by Noor are piggybacking on this event or this celebration to also welcome each and every one of you. Just before I came into the hall, I randomly asked a few members of Noor, the humans of Noor as they're called, what surplus means to them in one word. There are multiple words. Some said loyalty, love, trust, profit, sharing, whatever the case, it all points to growth. And as you were coming in, you would have seen the timeline. From 2017 to 2023, you can see that growth is exponential. And we are hoping that this year, 2024, that we're able to continue that trajectory. Having said that, how about we start off with the day's events?
₦12 million, 15 million naira, 36 million naira, 100 million naira, 200 million naira, 400 million naira. From 2017 to 2023, these are the surplus amounts distributed to our participants. More than figures, these numbers represent trust, protection, and shared prosperity, alongside billions paid in claims which have supported families, protected businesses, and rebuilt dreams. Because at Noor Takaful Insurance Limited, a promise made is a promise kept. Now, in 2025, we continue the tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, your win-win partner welcomes you to Surplus Sharing 2025.
And to welcome you a little more, a man whose career spans 33 years, quite a number. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the chairman of Noor Takaful Insurance Limited, Ambassador Ahmed Shaibu. Please put your hands as he makes his way.
Our esteemed regulator, the National Insurance Commission of Nigeria, our valued brokers, our partners, distinguished guests, friends of Noor Takaful, and most importantly, our beloved participants. Good morning to you all, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala. It is with immense gratitude and joy that I welcome you all to this historic occasion in the life of Noor Takaful Insurance. Today, we are not just celebrating numbers on a balance sheet. We are celebrating trust, partnership, and the very essence of the Takaful model, mutual cooperation and shared prosperity. When Noor Takaful Insurance commenced operation in 2017, we embarked on a journey of faith, resilience, and innovation. Our vision was clear: to provide Nigerians with an ethical, transparent, and Sharia-compliant alternative for risk protection, an institution built not only to safeguard wealth, but also to uplift lives. By the mercy of God, today we stand tall, grateful for how far we have come. This gathering is particularly significant because today we announce the distribution of over 400 million naira in surplus for 2023 alone. But beyond this year, together we have shared a staggering 1 billion naira in surplus since our inception. These figures are not just milestones. They are powerful proof that the Takaful system works and works for everyone. And it does not stop there. Over the years, Noor Takaful Insurance has paid out more than 11 billion naira in claims to participants. Behind those claims are real lives and real impact. Families supported in their time of need, businesses able to recover and thrive, dignity preserved, and hope restored. That is what makes today truly meaningful. These numbers, 400 million, 1 billion, and 11 billion naira, are not just statistics. They are stories of solidarity, of fairness, of justice. They show that in Noor Takaful, everyone wins. Our model is not about transferring risk to another. It is about sharing risk with one another. It is about creating a win-win partnership where both protection and prosperity are shared. That is why we say confidently the Takaful model is not only ethical, it is superior. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you here. To our participants, thank you for entrusting us with your protection. To our brokers and partners, thank you for walking this journey with us. To our regulators and stakeholders, thank you for your guidance and support. To the management and staff of Noor Takaful, thank you for your dedication in turning vision into reality. As we celebrate today, let us also look forward with renewed energy. This is not the end of a journey. It is a milestone along a greater path. Together, we will continue to strengthen Takaful in Nigeria, deepen financial inclusion, and ensure that this noble system continues to touch lives and empower communities. Once again, thank you for honoring us with your presence. May this day be a source of inspiration, unity, and blessings for us all. Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ambassador Shuaibu, for your opening remarks. I think events like this are not complete without the regulator, and there's something about the word regulator that makes you think putting barriers and curbing you, but in many ways, you also have a regulator that opens the way for companies such as Noor Takaful to take certain steps that no one else has taken in the sector. So please, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage for his special remarks the Commissioner of the National Insurance Commission, Mr. Olusegun Ayo-Omoseyin. He is represented here today by Dr. Julius Odidi. Doctor, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My names are Dr. Julius Odidi, Deputy Director, National Insurance Commission. It's my singular honor to represent the CFI, and his keynote address goes as thus: Progress and Prospects of Nigerian Insurance Sector, delivered as special guest of honor at the 2025 Noor Takaful Surplus Distribution and Claims Celebration here in Lagos Continental Hotel this day, 17th of September 2025. All protocols observed. It is my honor and privilege to deliver this address on behalf of the Commissioner for Insurance, Mr. Olusegun Ayo-Omoseyin, as special guest of honor at the 2025 Noor Takaful Surplus Distribution and Claims Celebration. The Commissioner is unavoidably absent and extends his sincere apologies and warm greetings to all participants. This event is not merely a ceremony, it is a statement of the resilience, inclusivity, and ethical foundations upon which Nigeria's Takaful industry is being built. As we gather to celebrate surplus distribution and the fulfillment of claims, we are reminded of the true meaning of Takaful: trust, fairness, and shared prosperity. These principles are at the heart of Takaful and remain central to the progress of Nigeria's broader insurance sector. Over the years, the Nigerian insurance industry has steadily transformed. Today, in 2025, we are at a turning point, a period when reforms, innovations, and collaboration converge to open new horizons for growth. The National Insurance Commission, quote and unquote NICOM, has played a central role in this progress. Through purposeful regulation, visionary oversight, NICOM has created the enabling environment for both conventional insurance and alternative models like Takaful, ensuring that Nigerians of all backgrounds and beliefs have access to protection solutions that align with their needs and values. A landmark achievement in this journey is the signing into law of the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reforms Act 2025, quote and unquote, NIRA 2025, by His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. This act represents a bold step towards unlocking the full potential of the sector by, one, establishing a policy holders protection fund to safeguard consumer interest. 2, strengthening compliance and governance across the industry. 3, driving stability and growth through technology-driven innovations. In line with this act, NICOM has already released a guideline on minimum capital requirement for insurance and reinsurance companies, demonstrating our commitment to ensuring timely and effective implementation. Beyond reforms, what is even more inspiring is the growing recognition of insurance as a driver of economic empowerment and resilience. The Takaful model, built on the principles of cooperation and solidarity, embodies this vision. For many Nigerians who had previously been excluded from conventional insurance, Takaful offers not just financial protection, but also dignity, fairness, and confidence in the future. I must not fail to emphasize that the recent pronouncement by the Commission regarding the prohibition of co-insurance between Takaful operators and conventional insurers is a demonstration of our commitment to safeguarding the integrity of the Takaful industry in Nigeria. The issuance of this directive is not merely regulatory. It is a strategic step to preserve the sanctity of Takaful as a Sharia-compliant financial model. Takaful is built on principles of risk sharing, mutual cooperation, ethical investment, which must remain distinct from conventional insurance practices, which is founded on total risk transfer. By prohibiting co-insurance arrangements between Takaful operators and conventional insurers, we are drawing a clear line that protects both the operational purity and public trust in Takaful. This demarcation is essential not only to uphold compliance with Islamic finance principles, but also to prevent reputational risk and systemic entanglements that could undermine the Takaful segment of the industry, which we have worked hard to develop over the years. Let me emphasize, this directive is in the best interest of the Nigerian Takaful industry. It strengthens its foundation, enhances consumer confidence, and ensures that our regulatory framework supports sustainable growth rooted in ethical standards. Looking ahead, the prospects of Nigeria's insurance sector are bright. We anticipate one, deeper penetration into undeserved and rural communities. 2, increased adoption of digital channels to widen access and improve service delivery. 3, stronger collaboration between conventional insurers and Takaful operators to expand the industry's reach. And last but not the least, alignment with global movements in ethical finance and sustainability, positioning Nigeria as a leader in inclusive and responsible insurance practices. As we celebrate Noor's Takaful demonstration of transparency, accountability, and fairness through today's surplus distribution and claim settlement, let us also recommit to the values that underpin the success of Takaful and indeed of the entire insurance industry: trust, integrity, sound risk management, and ethical investments. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the future of Nigeria's insurance sector is promising. With NICOM's leadership, the innovation of operators, and the trust of policyholders, we can build a sector that is not only robust and competitive, but also inclusive, ethical, and central to Nigeria's economic development agenda. Once again, I commend Noor Takaful for this milestone. Celebrations. And for this role in advancing the cause of inclusive and ethical insurance in Nigeria. May today's event inspire all of us to continue working towards a resilient and prosperous insurance industry that delivers lasting value to our nation and its people. Thank you. On behalf of Mr. Olusegun Ayomesohe, Commissioner for Insurance, CEO, NICOM. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause, please. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, sir, for the remarks. Without further ado, I'm conscious that time is of the essence. I'd like to invite to the stage the person who will be giving us the keynote address today, a woman who hardly needs any introduction, but introduce we shall. A stalwart and a pillar of corporate governance in the finance sector and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for a woman of many firsts as we welcome Ibukun Awoshika to the stage for her keynote address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's definitely my pleasure to be here. When my friend Mukhtar Bakare called me, I was somewhere in the world, and I said to him, well, you never asked me for anything before. And even though I would only get back the day before, a bit exhausted, I promise you I would do this. So I'm here. I find what this is about in terms of the principle of it interesting and fascinating. I had the privilege of being the founding chair for FBN Life Insurance, which was a joint venture between First Bank of Nigeria and Sanlam, which then transited to become Sanlam as First Bank sold completely to Sanlam, and Sanlam and Alliance have joined together now to form what is Sanlam Alliance Insurance. So I did have a good foothold in helping to build the startup that was FBN Life. And like any other sector in the financial services industry, what is key is the integrity of the institution and the ability of the institution, especially in insurance, to keep its word to its clients. Insurance is an act of trust. It's a promise by one to the other. In one model is a shared risk. In another model is shared risk and shared return, which is the fundamental difference between the traditional and what the Takaful represents. Now, the honest truth is, once you share any part of the risk, you should be able to share the reward too. Because in business principle, shared risk should result in a reward for the risk that you carry. But traditional was built on the model of winner takes it all. And therefore, that is the model, and that's how it's been from the Western world to how it's been introduced here. And whilst I'm a Christian, even though I was raised a Muslim, this isn't about religion. This is about integrity and values. And that's why I'm here. It's about the integrity of the model, but no matter what the integrity of the model is, it becomes about the integrity of the institution itself. It becomes about how those who have founded Noor Takaful, who have made the commitment and the pledge, no matter what the regulator says. Because as the regulator will tell you, the rules are always there, but it's always the choice of the institution to walk by the rules or walk around the rules. So it's a choice you make every day as an institution. They're guiding principles. There's no reason why any bank should fail if the rules are followed, because the guidelines are always clear. But at the end of the day, it's always about the people who have the responsibility of managing it. And the same goes for the regulator. I mean, obviously, the worst of what we've gone through in our financial services, especially the banking sector, has been regulator-related in the last short while. And once the regulator fails, the industry, there will be players that will align. And there will be rebels like us that will choose not to, and then we will get punished for choosing to do it differently. However, what is always right, no matter the cost. And the beauty of the Noor Takaful, well, the Takaful model, but Noor Takaful as an organization in itself, is that in the short term, in the little time, because when you think about like a first bank of 131 years history, I will consider Noor Takaful a baby. In fact, a newborn, if we say that. But, you know what? Age becomes irrelevant. It's a matter of who you show yourself to be. The values that you choose to live by, not the values you profess. Because, you know, words are cheap. Anybody can promise you anything. And you'd be a fool to just take the word of a man for it if the man has not shown you who he is. However, it's actually how the industry works. First, you trust their word. And then over time, you get to discover if their word is worth taking. But you have to take it first when you put your money in there, whatever kind of product you were dealing with. So the beauty of seeing a shared reward model in the financial services industry that is not about buying shares. This is about insuring with an institution, and in sharing your risk with them, you get rewarded at the end if there's benefit that comes from that. It's fundamentally different. It's essentially encouraging. It builds trust, and it helps institutions to gain trust with people as well. I'm trusting that as a nation, the model that Takaful offers helps us to reestablish the values that institutions can build on. There was a time and a season when there were things you could not imagine would come from corporate sector at all. There were guarantees you had by the word of institutions. There were practices you did not even expect to see. But a lot of things are falling apart in our society, and values have become secondary. We ourselves are responsible in many ways because we celebrate people for what they have, not who they are. And once we fell into that, we permitted and endorsed and allowed wrong things to be done in our name. And once we have permitted it, we ourselves suffer for it. Because every such action comes back home to roost for all of us. When the insurance industry works and it works well, then we're protected when we have issues. But if it doesn't, then we have a problem. And insurance is one part of it. It's a smaller part of the financial services sector. It's a sector that needs to grow exponentially because the market space is there. And maybe this is a model that will encourage more people to get. It's an open field. It's really, I was asking Mukhtar how many people you have signed on right now, and he gave me the numbers of about 20,000 people. So we're really at the early stage. We're just starting compared to what is available. And what I will challenge you to do is you really need to invest time in educating the public. You really need to share the model of what you do. You don't want to be just another insurance company, and you don't want the door to be shut on it just being called a religious insurance company. Because you're a corporate organization that's come out of a faith belief system. But that's the foundation of its values, but the institution is a corporate institution trying to build, but on certain fundamental principles. So you need to be able to effectively communicate that in a way that you attract as many more people to the model, because the model is attractive on its own and will cause a change, because people can trust a system that will reward them as well. As it's almost like having shares in a company by the kind of system that Takaful affords. And we do need to grow it. And then when you think about the population of Nigeria, you realize that we're just at the beginning. There's so much to do and a lot. And if that value system is then translated into other sectors of the economy, then the Takaful model would have been an instigator of re-engineering the value system with which our corporate operates. I want to congratulate the company for all the work done so far and for the values that has been created. And I want to congratulate the beneficiaries for making the investment, because if you're getting returns, then you made an investment. You didn't just invest in risk, you also invested in getting returns. And your risk is returning to you the reward. And you see, the beauty of it is, when you know you have a benefit, you're not going to go and forge insurance. You know, insurance fraud should be less. With Takaful, people are not pretending that something is destroyed when it's not. Because at the end of the day, they understand that if the company does well, without false claims and all of that, they themselves will be part of the benefactors of it. So in many ways, it helps to purify the system. And it's a model that we should look at for the value that it represents. So don't sell it just on religious basis. Because when you do that in a business, sometimes before people hear the value of it, they've locked the door just on the differences of faith. And as I asked Mukhtar as well, you have customers that are from every faith. But guess what? Most people won't immediately assume that. So it's about how we communicate what the product is, what the benefit is, what the model is, and what the impact is, especially in helping to build a more equitable society. Because what the Takaful model is a very equitable business model that allows each party to be rewarded for their part in it. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Another round of applause for Ms. Ohoshika for her keynote address. I mean, there was much of that in many ways explains what Takaful is, right? And when you talk about equitable businesses, more than anything, across the world, that is the goal. It's interesting that for Takaful, that's the underpinning philosophy. Without it, it's not Takaful that you're practicing, full stop. You have to name it something else, wouldn't you? So thank you so much, ma'am, for your keynote address. Without further ado, the Vice Chairman of Noor Takaful Limited, Mr. Aminu Tukur, comes to the stage. He will be moderating a fireside chat, and I'll allow him to introduce or to share with you what the direction of the conversation will be.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Commissioner for Insurance, represented here today, my directors, participants, brokers. I'd like to thank Mrs. Ibuku Awushika. Madam, thank you very much for honoring us today. You have, I think to a large extent, discussed everything we wanted to, the questions we wanted to put to you across. But still, we would like to have a short conversation with you, if you don't mind joining me back on stage. Apologies for allowing you going back and forth. Mrs. Awoshika, one of the things we wanted to, the perception we've always tried to deal with and manage at Noor Takaful and the Takaful industry as a whole is Takaful is for all. And you've touched on that. You've spoken about, despite the fact that it's a Sharia-based issue, it's still about trust. Over the years, since we've known you, you have been an embodiment of trust. When people hear your name, people who are associated with you are comfortable. And that is one of the reasons why we've been able to, or one of the reasons why we felt that there was a need to have you here with us to share this special day of the surplus. Can you tell us, in Nigeria today, one of the difficult things that we face is the ethical dilemma of running any business. We know the challenges we face as a country. Based on your years of experience, how are you able to manage the ethical dilemma and run a business successfully?
Thank you very much. Honestly, matters of ethics in business is a clear choice that we make. You decide if you want to be ethical or not. You know, when I teach a lot of young people, I always say to them, sit down and decide what your values will be. Decide the values you want to die by and the values that you want to fight for. And you should always do it before you get to a crossroad. Because when you get to a crossroad, the pressure and the challenges of the crossroad will make it difficult for you, push you in one direction or the other. Now, what you've done, or what Takaful as a model helps you to do, is to decide in advance what the values are. Now, the reality is, even though you have defined values, what I have found that it always then comes back to the people. Because values are like laws. They're written down as the things you subscribe to. However, laws remain as letter. What brings it to life are people. It's in how people choose to practice. So for me as a person, I made certain decisions earlier on in life. I started my first business at 25 going on 26. And as a young woman who was starting a business in an environment that had a number of compromises available, I made two choices. I was never going to sleep with a man to get a job, nor was I ever going to pay a bribe. And people laughed. It's like, you know, an idealistic young woman, you can't go far with those principles, especially because I was starting a manufacturing business in furniture, and I would need to get furniture contracts from companies. And you know how those things are. There are always deals behind the scene. But I made that choice based on how I was raised and the values I decided I wanted. And this wasn't even, at the point I made those choices, I hadn't even become a Christian. I was a young Muslim girl that was raised with certain values. And when I became a Christian, all that happened is between my upbringing and my faith that I was raised with and the faith that I then decided on, the values entrenched my determination to live that way. And what happens is once you have made a clear choice, when you get to the situations that challenge those values, you don't have to think afresh. You do not have to start thinking, oh, should I do this, should I not? No, no, no. You made the decision earlier. What you're then doing is fighting to do what you said you will do. And that's what's been my experience. Yes, does it make your life easier? No. Sometimes, as my younger sister, I remember the day I was appointed to join the board of First Bank, my younger sister, one of my sisters, said to me, she said, you know, I always thought you like to make your own life difficult. That's who doesn't look for easy options to do things. But you will just insist you must do things a certain way. Why? But you know, now I look at your life and how things have worked out for you, and I realize that, you know what? It was worth you sticking to your gun. So values and ethics in life or in business is about choices. It's really that you guys decide as an organization, this is who we are. And if you're driven by just profit, even though you have it on the letter that this is what Takaful is, you will do some things to manage it, especially when you have a permissive environment like Nigeria can be. So it's the individual's choice, which is why the people you employ, your management team, your board, they're key. If you have a board of hungry people, they will compromise with management. And management always has the check of the organization. They can compromise your board very easily by making sure that they're well taken care of. And then in a permissive environment, things will be diverted and the wrong culture will be built. So it's really that the individuals within the organization and the vision of the ethics of the organization is sold clearly and then is exhibited by example, by the lives of those who lead. Because you can't tell people to do something different from what they see you do. It's like telling our children, you can't drink, but every time they see daddy with a bottle and something beside, they'll just laugh at you and drink behind. I hope that helps.
It absolutely helps. And the reason why we need to ask that question, because we face this more and more. Do you think this ethical dilemma is getting easier, or is it getting tougher?
If I'm being honest, it's not getting easier. That is the truth. However, you don't live your life based on what other people do. I don't care if 10,000 other people choose to do the wrong things. It is what have you decided to do? What values have you decided to live by? You know, they say tiny drops of water makes the mighty ocean. I can be responsible for my action, but I'm not responsible for another person's action. All you want to do is, even if you guys as an organization or as a community are a small oasis of righteousness, so to speak, then it's fine. Why? Because as long as we have seeds of goodness, you will soon... Let me explain this way. You know, one of the things I've found in my journey in corporate life, apart from being an entrepreneur for 36 years, is no matter what they tell you an organization is, if you get there and you start doing the right things, you will see more people who intend to do the right thing come out of the woods. Because normally what happens, if they think this is the culture, everybody keeps quiet and they just follow. When they see a leader or people who show them the right way or who are committed by example to doing the right thing, you will see more people follow. So in that environment, leadership is important. The culture of permissiveness is what we must eradicate. We must make the necessary investment to build one at a time. You must, as an organization, invest in educating those that work for you. Don't assume that just because they work in your organization, they understand your value system. That would be a mistake. And that's for any organization. If you want to affect the culture of an organization, leadership must be at the core of showing the example, and then leadership must live it, communicate it clearly, and support ensuring that others. Now, the larger society has its own challenges, but we have our own responsibility, and they're two different things. So what you are accountable for is what you are responsible for. The part that is yours, do it well. What my experience has shown me is you will find there are many more people like you who want to do the right thing. And because you're doing the right thing, you will find those that join hands with you to build it. Now, something to pay attention to is this younger generation, they're quite desiring of a society that works. And they're very idealistic, and they want things to work better. So, even though we say the environment is not working, it's not easier in terms of values, if for the sake of the fact that 70% of Nigeria is made up of young people, if there are even 10% of Nigerians who seek to do the right thing, you will influence that younger generation and hopefully rebuild the society for the right thing. But is it going to be easy? No. We're going to keep fighting for it until we get it right. And anyway, even at the end, every person in every society is imperfect. So we will always have to deal with those challenges.
Thank you. I'm glad you talked about if the leaders and leadership shows the way people will come out of the woods. And it's something that we, at the board level, at Noor Takaful, Noor Health, it is not an issue at all. This is something that they've always tried to cascade down. And I always say the problem is probably from management and how we are going to cascade it down. One of the key issues today is technology. Do you think technology will make trust, ethics, responsibility easier? Or will it, especially now with AI coming in, do you think this is going to be an enabler for more corrupt practices, more negative things across? What is your view, and how can we use technology to improve ourselves as human beings?
Okay, there are two sides to it. There's the fact that technology removes a lot of human intervention. And the point of corruption a lot of times is the human interventions. So if we build a technology system that is based on the principles and the values that we believe in, and we build a technology end-to-end that removes that interference that can introduce corruption, then we can hope to eliminate to a large extent. But there are other kind of risks that technology itself introduces. And even though those risks are there, they're mitigants. For every digital risk, there are digital solutions to protect and to prevent to the best that you can. Okay? So it's really about what we set the technology to do for us. Okay? There's no rent seeking if I don't need to interfere with any man. If I get on a computer and the system, I can book a premium digitally. I can request, if I have any accident or any claim, I can make a claim process digitally. And the efficiency of time is digitally programmed into my system. I'm not waiting for the favor of somebody. Nobody needs to put my file in their drawer and ask me for something in order to make it happen. Nobody needs to miscalculate what I need to be charged as punitive if I'm not paying. The system will digitally ensure that I get the right numbers and that I get it in the right time. Now, that's fine. However, what you will also realize sometimes is, as any of us would have experienced sometimes, when you're talking to AI systems, sometimes you want to break it up because it's annoying, it's irritating, it has no point. It doesn't have those nuances. Something is not exactly as we have defined it. If I have any variation of what has been programmed, I want to talk to a human being. So personally, I hate talking to the machine because half the time they annoy me. So when I pick the phone, it's like, call British Airways or something, and you're talking about something and it's asking you a lot of these silly questions. I refuse to answer until it gets to, and if you have not chosen any option, just wait for an agent. I will just wait because I know that it's going to waste my time. if something, but that's about how we program it. Because don't forget, the machine gives you what you give it. It's what you put into it that it brings out. So it's our responsibility to make the right investment, to use technology to achieve efficiency, and to remove a lot of arbitrage that brings corruption. Because it's the point of arbitrage that people create corruption. So if we can reduce the number of human intervention, then we hope that we can digitally reduce corruption, bring better efficiency, but also gain the trust of the people to the best that we can.
Thank you. And I think removing the human aspect is critical. And I'll give an example. When we were filing for our tax this year, what we just did was we used our tax consultants to calculate our tax. And they just said, you know what, just go and put it on Tax Pro Max. Okay. And if it's correct, you'll be able to get your tax clearance certificate. Yeah. And in all fairness, we didn't have to call anybody at FIRS. And we're able to get our tax certificate without making a call. And it actually encouraged us as an organization to ensure that, look, let's just do the right thing. Yeah. Let's not need to call anybody. But I always think about my father as well, and he's always thinking, I don't want to talk to any machine, all right? He struggles when he travels now, and he's like, oh, God, everything now, you go into a store, you don't talk to anybody. There's nobody at the aisle to assist you.
You have to go and pay yourself.
You have to pay yourself.
I hate that too.
You know. The main reason, there are two reasons why we're here, but the main reason is surplus distribution, which you've talked about, which you've highlighted. What advice would you give Noor Takaful to use this surplus, which it has been doing consistently since it started operations in 2017, to include or increase financial inclusion, and then show that the financial services can actually be trusted, because a lot of people have lost confidence in the whole financial system, not just locally, globally as well. What kind of talks would you like to give the Takaful operators, Noor Takaful? We also have a regulator here. We've also said that, look, sometimes the regulators are there to guide us, to protect the investors and the policyholders. But what other advice can you give us here today?
I think that, first and foremost, the thing that you do the most is gain the trust of your investors, your clients, by keeping your word every time. Obviously, their contract guaranteed that when you have this surplus, they would get a share of it, which is what you do every time. And if you have done it transparently, openly, the books and the numbers are available, they're certified by the auditors, the regulators have signed off on it because they know it to be correct. And based on whatever the promise is that you have made to your policyholders, you're returning to them in an equitable manner what is theirs. What you do by doing that consistently is gain trust. Now, how is trust rewarded? When there's trust, people trust you with more. Because then they can see that you will keep your word, which is the biggest thing that you do. But they also become your PR machine. Because every single person that benefits can tell someone else. When one person is complaining about their own insurance experience on one side, somebody else can say, look, why don't you try this? This is my experience on this side. And, you know, I always say that one satisfied customer is worth more than 10 million in advertisement because they're speaking from their own experience. And your advert is thrown to the wind. It can land anywhere. So you have that. But you also have to educate. It is really critical that you educate. There's nothing that says that on a day like this, you do not have a team outside that interviews for your database real customers and who have received returns consistently over time or have tried it for the first time and create a bank of customers who are satisfied with their experiences and the return. And you let them become the voices that speak to others. And you share the principle and the values. Because you also want to be able to reach a wide population of Nigerians, no matter their religious belief, it means that you must also pay attention to how you make that communication. You're clear about the values that the organization offers, the value that it returns, and then you bring out the value system behind it so that there's no door shut against you just because, oh, I'm not a Muslim, they don't expect me. No, that's not what it is. It is no corporate organization carries. I remember when First Bank was 125 years old. I was chair at the point, and I desired that, look, if God has preserved an organization for 125 years, you should go back to God and say thank you, no matter what. There were people who had the opinion that it's a corporate organization, it shouldn't have anything like that. Well, there were human beings that work and run the corporate organization, and we understand that God makes things possible. So we cannot be bashful of being able to work even in our faith where the business is concerned. So I remember what we did then was the MD that served under me was a Muslim, or is a Muslim, and so they had a service on a Friday, and he led all of that with directors who were Muslims. And then we had a church service that was for the organization as well, for the 125th anniversary, and all of staff and team and directors who were Christians and our customers also went to that. There's a place where our faith becomes a strength for our organization because it drives our value system. However, the institution is guided by the principles of its commitment and its regulatory rules by which it has been permitted to operate. So I think you have a lot of things to work with. You have a lot of ways you're an alternative to traditional, because the key element is the return, the share of profit. The equitability of your industry is so much, much more clearer than most of the rest of the financial services industry. If I were in your shoes, that would be my message to capitalize on. But it's about how you communicate it and how you take it to the rest of the world.
Thank you very much, madam. Would open up to one or two questions. However, just to buttress on what you have said, in our first year of operation, 2017, at the end of 2017, come January, we wrote 273 million naira. And immediately people started calling us, where's my surplus, where's my surplus? And even us, we're still trying to understand the surplus process. We had to go through actuarial validation, board approval, and finally regulatory approval. So it actually took us some time for us to get there, to distribute surplus. So it was a challenge when we're unable to distribute it immediately. Even though we eventually did it, we did struggle, and people actually did lose faith in us. But eventually, when we did pay that first or distribute that first surplus, we gained the trust and confidence. And that is why today we've been able to grow our business from 273 million in first year to over 13 billion naira today. And I have to say this, with very, very limited public sector business. We have decided as an organization we would have as limited public sector business. I think it probably accounts for less than 5%. And so that gives us the confidence that people who come to us actually want value for their money. I don't know if there are any questions from the audience, one or two questions. We are running out of time.
I like it when the house is quiet until the first question is asked.
Thank you very much. I respect you, my professional colleagues. My name is Bo Nakumaya. I'm the president of the Professional Insurance Ladies Association, as well as the managing director of Pix Trust. I really don't have a question as such, but I would have a comment. And the comment is this. I see that in the market, there isn't so much of a focus of educating people as to the return on investments on the Takaful insurance. More often than not, people see it as an Islamic insurance. Now, Islamic or not, money is money. The dollar bill is green. It doesn't have Christianity on one part and Islam on the other side. So I would want to say that a lot more focus in terms of education and also in terms of enlightenment, I think would be the word, on the return on investment and the way and manner in which you actually get your surplus. Because your surplus is not based on your own personal input alone. Your surplus is based on that particular portfolio having a surplus at the end of that financial year. So I think that should be the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. I think we have taken note of that. The team at Noor Takaful, the managing director, the team, we would partly address that in today's session. Thank you.
The other lady.
Thank you very much. My name is Zainab Abdurrahman, and it's not a question. I just want to find out from Mrs. Awashika, based on your interaction with us and your knowledge of the industry, and probably being part of what's happening here today, I just want to find out from you, how can you help in terms of helping us to spread the message? And I think being here today and identifying with us is a way to also help spread the message. But I want to know what you would want to do personally in order to help us in that regard. Thank you.
You want to employ me as your PR manager?
Sorry, Ma, just to add a little context, Haji Abdurrahman is the chairperson of Jais Takaful. Jais Takaful is, we don't compete in Takaful, we collaborate and we partner. We commenced business about the same time, and she's here to support the Takaful space as well. Thank you.
Okay. Well, look, the thing is, once you identify what needs to be done, there are people who are skilled and empowered to know what the messaging needs to be. And especially when you're building a new industry, you need to build from ground up. 2, you need to find a whole new space of people who can benefit from what this represents. And the best group of people who follow ideas that return value, but also represents equity are young people. So don't think that just because it's insurance, you're looking for the big ticket. I had the privilege to serve for 2 years on the advisory board of Binance at the global level. And Binance is crypto. I didn't even know anything about crypto when I joined the advisory board for Binance. They headhunted me and 12 of us from around the world, 11 of us from around the world that served on their advisory board to guide them in their transition from a blockchain system into the financial services industry. I decided to leave after a while for my own personal reasons. Now, one of the things I learned from that is when you are driving a new sector, it's important that you understand the key fundamental differences and the enablers. I don't think most people realize how many Nigerians are on crypto platforms. I was shocked as they presented data to us in doing that work to realize that we're the 3rd largest player in the world. Yes, the number of Nigerians on that one single platform is more than what many banks have. But why did they go there? Trust. The challenge was a breach of trust and transparency between people and the financial services sector. and a lack of full trust in even the regulatory system, and even worse, a lack of trust of the financial system. Who were those driving it? A lot of young people. Think if 70% of our population is under 40, we always assume they don't have a lot of money. It's a lie. Collectively, there's huge amount of capital asset within that age group. Because they do a lot of work that you don't see. Many of them work virtually internationally. They're earning income in foreign exchange and in Naira across multiple climes that you can't account for. They sit in their room from morning to night. You think they're loafing around. They're not. They're doing content creation. You think they're not making money. They're getting paid. But they look for a system that they trust. Now, what you have with the Takaful model is a product of trust and a product of equity. What you need to do is, how do you communicate that to a generation? It's like, I've been on the board of Cadbury for almost 12 years. Tom looks to you like the suite of old people, doesn't it? I didn't respect the Tom until I joined the board of Cadbury. And I saw that black and white thing controls billions, multiple billions of Naira in a year. It's a seriously high-value product. However, I watched them do a generational change of who the customer for TomTom is. And it was about the right positioning, the right influencers, the right voices, and a campaign. And effectively, it became something that was multi-generational. So what you have will speak to that generation because they like equity, they like trust. And if you combine that with digital platforms, you give them a means to ensure, because already the biggest challenge that traditional insurance industry has is they don't trust it. They assume that every time they're going to make a claim, they're going to have to jump over the house and a mountain to be able to get their return. And two, they have to have a contribution to it. So it's a different model from what you offer. Is you live, you know what she said, which I'd said earlier about religion? You're an organization based on a value from your faith. But once you become a corporate organization, the religion is on the side. The product and the value with which it's run is what you're selling. There are multiple organizations in the world that were formed from the Catholic Church and a lot of Christian organizations. But you deal with them, but you don't see the religion. I went to a business school in Spain. I proudly serve on the board of that business school, IESE Business School. It's top 5 business school in the world for executive education. But guess what? It's an Opus Dei owned institution. It's a section of the Catholic Church that's responsible for founding the school. If you enter every classroom in IESE, there's a cross. But it's a global institution that has everybody from everywhere. My son just graduated from the MBA class in May, and there were 350 kids from every part of the world, parents of every faith and every tribe. They are proudly supporting their children. I had the honor of being the graduation speaker at the graduation. But it was easy to see, but they don't hide it, but it's not on the name of the organization. But it drives the values with which the school, and that was part of the attraction for me, because they're focused on teaching you how to do well, but also do good, and do it with the right values. So they teach values as a major part of their education. So it's you finding the right phrase, the right communication, and positioning what you do from the Takaful ecosystem, positioning it right, and finding the right voices, and keeping your word. I think you will totally turn insurance upside down. Thank you.
Of Noor Takaful and Takaful. Thank you very much, Mrs. Awushika. We're here to distribute surplus. We'd like to take this opportunity to assist us in presenting a symbolic check to one of our participants who will be receiving surplus today. I also like to
lucky
call...
participant.
Sorry?
I said lucky participant. The person
Yes,
who pay
absolutely.
me commission.
I also like to call our board chairman, Ambassador Shoaib Ahmed, chairman of Noor Takaful and founding chairman, and then chairman of Noor Health, the subsidiary of Noor Takaful, Mr. Muta Bakari, to kindly join us on stage. Thank you.
I think at this point I'd like to invite the first happy recipient. Right. On behalf of Lotus Bank, coming up to the stage to receive the very first check for 2025 anyway. Please join me in welcoming very quickly to the stage, on behalf of Lotus Bank, Mr. Adeoye Abiodun. Mr. Abiodun, could you please come up? All right, fantastic.
Lotus Bank is one of our clients. Lotus Bank is a non-interest bank. And we're issuing them a Lotus Bank check as well. Thank you. I think, Madam, we would also like to request 2 more people to get checks. 2 more lucky people.
All right. Mr. Bakari, I'd like to say a big thank you to you. Hopefully we can call you back on stage very quickly. I do want to invite another director to the stage. Ambassador, please stay on. Yes. Sir, if we can have you, Ismaila Zakaria of the Board of Directors of Noor Takaful. Please put your hands together as he makes his way to help us present the next check. And our next happy recipient is ARM. And on behalf of ARM, we've got Mr. Munir Buba, who's here to receive the second check. If I can ask the Managing Director of Noor Takaful to please join us, and also a member of the board, Ms. Hilda Ozo. Also, Dr. Odidi, can we please have you on stage as well for this check? And our happy recipient for this check on behalf of Alternative Bank, please put your hands together for Temi Dali. Please have Mr. Bakare back on stage. So, thank you. We're going to take quick photographs. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for our guest, Ms. Ibuko Awoshika, and our able moderator, the Vice Chairman, Aminu Chokur. Thank you very much. All right. So over the next few minutes, I've got the pleasure of facilitating a lucky dip. I've not done this before. And if I were a game show host, then I would probably be rolling my R's at this point. When you came in, I'm sure a number of you got the chance to fill a card, right? Okay, and you probably wondered what the card was. You'd have gone through Noor Takaful, Noor Health, and Raha by Noor before you get into this box. There are 5 lucky winners for today. And I've got the pleasure of inviting someone to the stage to help me out very quickly. By a unanimous vote, we've decided that we will have Mr. Ismaila Zakari with me for this first winner. Sir, can you join me on stage? Please put your hands together. So he's going to dip, and if you're lucky, well, we'll see what happens. Shake it, sir. Shake it a bit. Yes, ruffle it a bit. Fantastic. Anyone you touch. Anyone. It's up to you. Okay. So I'm only looking at the name to be sure he calls the right name, because he might call it and then decide to call someone else. All right.
Ben Duru.
Do we have a Ben Duru in the room? Can you wave? Can you wave? There we have it. Our lucky first winner. Can I very quickly have... I wonder if Ms. Thompson is in the room. Sir, please come up on stage. We want to see that you're a real human being and we didn't pick the name from somewhere. Fantastic. Hello, Mr. Duru. Congratulations on winning. All right. So we've got the able Muhammad here. Muhammad Kabir is a member. He's one of the humans of Noor. He's going to let you know what it is that you're winning. Muhammad is... Please put your hands together for him. Let's encourage him a bit.
It's a blood pressure machine. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Duru. We do appreciate you being up here. Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Noor Takaful. I'm from Esteem Insurance Brokers. I'm grateful, and I hope others will win. And also, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duru. Thank you, sir. Yes. If you don't win, what is it that they say? We're all winners anyway, right? Okay. Can I please have Ms. Temi Dali on stage with us? She's a representative of the HR Advisory Board for Noor. Please put your hands together as she makes her way. Does anyone feel like a lucky winner? Technically, everyone should feel like a lucky winner. We are your win-win partner. Right, fantastic. Any way you want to pick, any which way. Would you like me to? You can direct my hand and I will, there you have it, there, yes. There. She said there, it wasn't me. Here you go.
Okay, and the lucky winner here is Ahmed Garuba. Ahmed Garuba.
Ahmed Garuba. All right.
Awesome.
I think in different parts of the country, there's a running joke that if you enter a classroom in JS2, any school in Kaduna, and you say Muhammad, 10 boys will put their hands up. So I think, Mr. Ahmed, thank you so much. All right, fantastic. Let's get you your prize. I don't know what it is. So you get the chance to maybe either show us or, nobody sees and then you can go home with it. It has a name that neither of us can read because we're not doctors. The best I can do is spell it. SPHYGMOMANO meter. METER. Is there a doctor in the house? Not a PhD, please. A medical doctor in the house who might know what it is. Okay, apparently he's just going to try it first and let us know a little later. Congratulations to you, Mr. Garuba. Can I have Mr. Stephen Muya on the stage, please? One of the directors at Noor Takaful. Mr. Muya, please, can you join me, sir? Please put your hands together as he makes his way. You might be the next lucky winner. The winner had better be from Kenya. Any Kenyans in the room? We can accept that we're Kenyans, at least just for today. All right.
This is a hard name, but let me try to pronounce it. Olufisayo Basi. Did I get it right? Olufisayo Basi. Congratulations.
I think the last time I sufficiently embarrassed myself enough, so I'm not going to try to find out what's in the bag. I think this time around we'll just let her walk off with a very nice gift. Mr. Muya is braver than I, that's for sure. Coincidentally, it's the same SPHG something or the other manometer. So please put your hands together as she makes her way. Thank you, Mr. Muya. So I've got 2 more winners, and this time around, 3 more winners, apparently. I've decided to take the reins very quickly. Something about a raffle is a game of chance. So I've got 3 in my hand. How about I get someone at the table here to pick one? Who wants to brave and pick our lucky winner?
Mrs. Olufunke Adebusi.
Olufunke Adebusi, can we please have you? Oh, fantastic, there you are. Here you are, ma'am. Congratulations. Thank you.
I am here representing the President of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, Prince Babatunde Adeleke, and I'm also the Vice President of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers. I congratulate Noor Takaful on this successful event. More grace to your elbow. I'm proud of you. I insure with you.
Thank you. Did anyone see me pick an extra 2 from the box? All right, we're just making sure that it's very open. So I'm holding on to the previous 2. It still doubles your chances. You might be the one who gets to pick one. Permit me to step outside protocol for a moment. We'll get one of our photographers to pick the next winner. Do you feel lucky? All right. You can, do the mumbo jumbo over it. There you have it. Fantastic.
All right, our winner is Mr. Michael Oyekunle.
Oh, he said you weren't in the house, Mr. Oyekunle. I'm happy that you proved him wrong. All right. So congratulations to you, sir.
I want to say a big thank you to Noor Takaful, and I want to appreciate everyone that is here. Thank you very much.
All right. Apparently, my game of chance has come to an end. For our final gift, I'd like to ask to the stage the rep of Osama's Communications, please.
Noor Takaful Insurance was established to provide a better and more ethical way of doing insurance. Over the years, people lost confidence on how insurance was practiced in Nigeria. We at Noor Takaful therefore felt there was a need to change that perception and build more trust. Our goal was to tip the scale towards equity and fairness.
Building a new style of business in an industry that has been in existence for over 10 decades was not an easy task. Yes, we had the support of our regulators, but that was the easy part. The real challenge was proving to people that Takaful deserves to be mainstream.
I mean, let's think about it for a bit. Why would anyone leave the regular conventional insurance that has been around for so long and leave that for an ethical insurance company, something that only just started in 2017? So we knew we were going to face a lot of resistance, but guess what? We were ready for it, very ready.
The most fulfilling part of the job and working in this industry is being able to show up for our participants when life hits hard. I feel happy when I see the smile on their faces and hearing the relief in their voices. We have many stories. Imagine paying a 24 million naira to a grieving widow or over 100 million to a farmer who lost his birds. Seeing people rebuild after an incident is what we live for. Noor Takaful.
We tell individuals and businesses, if you do not make a claim, you can't be eligible for surplus. And that's true. However, a lot of processes must be put in place before the money can be shared back.
I remember people calling in and saying, my plan has expired, my plan has ended, and they did not make a claim. And the next natural question is, where's my surplus? I haven't received my surplus. And in dealing with human beings and dealing with money, you have to be careful, you have to be honest, you have to be transparent. And that's exactly what we did.
When we finally got the approval to pay surplus and started reaching out to our participants, some were skeptical until they started receiving checks or getting the money in their accounts. This was understandable commendable considering the fact that we're pioneers in this movement in Nigeria. That's one thing about us in Noor Takaful. Our word is our bond, proudly ethical.
It's not always an easy task to differentiate yourself from others. But when the reason behind is strong, it's worth it. I'm always excited receiving our approvals for surplus distribution. It only confirms the other end of our promises. You win by claim settlement or you win by surplus.
It's been 9 amazing years, and since we started operations in January 2017, Noor Takaful has paid over 11 billion naira in claims to our participants. Over the same period of time, we have also consistently distributed surplus up to 900 million naira to our participants. We have kept true to our words to confirm that we are truly a win-win Takaful and insurance company. In these 9 years, we've also had innovation and developments. We recently launched our app and a digital solution, Waha by Noor. In this same period, we also felt there was a need to go into the health insurance sector. This gave birth to Noor Health, which commenced operations in 2024. With all this, Noor Takaful ensures its commitment towards its people, its participants, and towards meeting its obligations to its partners across the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. As we always do every year, we would like to just talk about our surplus story. More importantly, this year, we felt there was also the need to speak about the claims we have paid. We didn't even realize it as much when we're adding the maths or doing the maths, and we've paid over 8.9 billion naira in the last 7-8 years. So I'll just talk a little bit about this. I'm not going to focus too much on this, but this is what we stand for, and this is very important. We are an ethical organization, and we are built on ethics, and that is how we came about this acronym that represents equity and fairness, teamwork and professionalism, honesty, innovation, compliance and competence, and accountability, as well as being the leadership. And clearly, our vision is to be the beacon of ethical financial services in Africa. And we have started that journey. This journey started 9 years ago, and we believe we're on the right path. What is our responsibility at Noor Takaful? Our responsibility is very simple. Number one thing is we're here to pay claims. That is what we're in the business of. Anybody who gives us or makes a contribution expects that when they call upon us, we're expected to listen to them and pay their claims promptly. And one of the things we always do when we hire claims officers at Noor Takaful is we ask them, what is your philosophy of handling a claim? And 9 out of 10 times, the potential staff will tell you that based on my training, every claim is fraudulent unless proven otherwise. And what we say is under the Takaful model, every claim is payable, is genuine, unless there is a genuine reason for not to pay that claim. And that is our philosophy at Noor Takaful, and that's why we've been able to build that trust. As we manage this participants' funds, we have to ensure that claims are paid promptly and on time. Because when that person comes to you with a claim, he or she or they need it the most at that point in time. That is probably the time they're at their lowest. They've lost their car, their property is in flames, and so on. And they do not want to hear any stories. I always say this, surplus for us at Noor Takaful or at the Takaful model is actually a byproduct. It is not the main thing. It is a byproduct of paying or not paying of claims. And you should be able to enjoy that. We keep on saying that, oh, we're getting bored with paying surplus. It's a joke, an internal joke by the humans of Noor. We're getting bored by distributing surplus year in, year out. What do we need to do to improve our services? But more importantly, we have to ensure that at every point in time, the risk fund, which is made up of contribution that we receive from our participants, is healthy, it's liquid enough, is also invested in such a way that adequate returns are made onto that. So at any point in time, we're able to fulfill the promise. And that is why we say we're the win-win insurance. Last year, we kind of changed it a bit to a win-win partner, because when we had the HMO business, we now said, look, we're not just an insurance company, we're also an organization, or we're also a group of organizations that ensure that we have a win-win partnership with our participants. And the HMO, Raha by Noor, these are just stepping stones in part of our innovation. Sorry. Now, the claims and process and promise of claims, it's very important to us. It is the forefront. It is the only reason why we're in business. Every participant, every claim must be treated genuinely. I think we always struggle when we have to decline a claim. Either because we have found genuine reasons not to pay that claim, but for us to deny a claim, it actually goes through more processes than paying a claim. It's easier for us to pay a claim than to deny a claim. And that is the forefront, that is the message that we try and pass across to our colleagues. Because at that point in time, we need to return that person to wherever he or she was before that disaster happened. So, like I mentioned earlier on, since 2017, we have paid about 11.9 billion naira. I'm sure by the time we step out of this room today, it's probably going to cross 12 billion naira. I'm definitely sure about that. And we want to ensure that at every point in time, people are comfortable. They know that, look, claims are not a burden, but a fundamental responsibility of your Takaful company. And I'm happy to say this. Across the Takaful industry in Nigeria, you'll find out that the five of us, the five Takaful operators, have proven that the Takaful model works. We are one of the fastest when it comes to settlements of claims. And I'm not just talking about Noor Takaful, I'm talking about all the other Takaful operators across the industry. When a claim is paid, our promise is fulfilled, and this is the trust that defines us. Now, like I mentioned, surplus is a kind of byproduct. It's a result of, look, we did not pay the claim, or claims did not exceed what was made into that contribution. So it is the balance of what is left after paying claims and claims-related expenses. And of course, after paying the operator's fees. What differentiates us is, under the Takaful model, what you have is risk sharing. And the participants contribute this money, and the participants continue to maintain the ownership of the risk fund. We as Takaful operators only manage the risk fund on behalf of the participants. So at every point in time, if you look at our balance sheet, if you look at our financial statements, you always see three levels of statements. You see the operator, you see the general Takaful, you see the family Takaful, and each one has its profit and loss. Each one has its balance sheet showing its assets and liabilities. And that is why at the end of the day, the profit and loss from the general Takaful, from the family Takaful, is the surplus that we are able to distribute on days like this to our participants. It reflects fairness, it reflects mutual assistance, and the spirit of Takaful. So this is just in summary how it works. The participants contribute, whatever goes into the risk fund. Claims are paid. Claims expected related expenses include things like surveyor's fees, adjuster's fees. These are things that are necessary to ensure that the claim is confirmed, the nature of the claim, and the amount of the claim. And then the surplus is now distributed. So participants win through protection. At every point in time, they know that, look, I have that buffer, I have that safety net. If anything were to happen to me, I have that protection. And if nothing happens, I have that surplus. The community wins through risk shared, lives and businesses are secured. Society wins, ethical finance supports inclusion and resilience. This is the Noor Takaful promise, and this is what we've been able to do over the last 7 to 8 years. We have consistently met our obligations since 2017. Since we started, we have now added up, we've paid close to ₦1 billion in terms of claims over the last 7 years. And I know people are going to ask, you've been in operations for 9 years, but you've only distributed surplus for 7 years. Some people would even observe that, why are you only distributing the 2023 surplus in 2025? Are you not late? Have you not delayed this surplus? It's an explanation we give year in, year out, and it's a necessary thing because we have to go through the process. And the reason is very simple. We have to wait for all the policies taken in the year 2023 to expire. The last policy of 2023 was taken on December 31st, 2023. And that last policy taken would only expire on December 31st, 2024. So really and truly, we can only start the process for 2023 on January 1st, 2025. Then we have to go through validation with the actuaries. We have to go to our external auditors. We have to get our approval from our advisory board. We also have to get board approval. And finally, we have to write to our regulator, the National Insurance Commission, to confirm that we're able to distribute that surplus. So this has gone through that process, and it's because of that that we're only paying the 2023 surplus in 2025. I know in other jurisdictions, they have been able to improve on that and are able to pay and distribute surplus. But in the Nigerian jurisdiction, that is what we have as at today. Of course, we are not going to wait 1 year to get your claim paid. We're trying to ensure that your claims are paid almost immediately. And with our digital solution, Raha by Noor, which you can now download on the Google app, I think for some people who have sat down with my colleagues at the Raha team, some of them have been able to download Raha by Noor on Google Play. We're waiting for approval for the App Store to get that done. You should be able to get claims paid within 24 hours on certain claims within a smaller amount of money. And this is actually to ensure that the younger people who are able to do things or who prefer to do things on their mobile applications are able to conclude their transactions on their phones. For instance, if you're driving your car and you hit your side mirror, probably 50, 60, 70,000 naira. You don't want to go through a lot of documentation with that because you just be discouraged. I have to print a form, complete it, scan it, send it, wait for things. But with Raha by Noor, you should be able to get paid within 24 hours without even speaking to anybody. And that is the promise that we're trying to keep. And for those of you who have downloaded it, I'm not saying you should go and have an accident, but please, when you do have anything, you should be able to do that done. It's amazing that people don't have to call the managing director or the chairman of the board and say, look, my claim is not being paid. I don't know when last we got calls and saying, please find out what is going on, you know? And that is something that the team has been able to do at Noor Takaful. Like I mentioned, our business has grown in gross written contribution from 273 million naira in 2017 to today over 13 billion naira. And that is because of the level and confidence that we've been able to have. We have our promise to ourselves that, look, every business that is renewable, we should be able to renew it and retain it. And then, if we're able to retain every business, we should be able to grow our business much faster. So we're comfortable enough, we believe, or our participants are comfortable enough to continue to renew their businesses with us. If we're able to retain that, because that we've been able to meet their obligations or our obligations towards them, then we believe this system will continue to grow. So this is just a summary of what we've been able to do over the years. Like I mentioned earlier on, 273 million naira in 2017. We're at about 13 billion naira as at today. I believe we should cross the 20 billion naira this year, inshallah. Claims we have paid in excess of 11 billion naira. And we're happy paying these claims. And I keep on telling people, when people say, why are you happy? And we're like, look, this is the best time to help somebody. This is the best time to be at your service. When you're able to meet that obligation, we know the amount of smiles we have put. We're going to have a story very soon on this about somebody who lost, I don't know, was it 10,000 chickens on his farm in Kano? The loss was about in excess of 100 million naira. And the person we were able to put that farm back. And I know the amount of jobs we're able to save in that majestic farm, which we'll talk about. So, our win-win philosophy, built on principles of fairness, transparency, and mutual benefit. We are committed to ensuring that our participants always come out ahead, whether through receiving claims when they need it or sharing in the surplus. Together we share risks, together we share rewards. Noor Takaful, we promise to always deliver on our obligations. Thank you very much. We will now have that video on one of our participants, the Majestic Farm, who lost over 100 million naira, and we're able to put back that business and a number of jobs back. Thank you.
Mohammed Nakudu from Majestic Farms. And I just wanted to speak a little bit about Noor Takaful. Basically, we picked Noor Takaful as a company because of their reputation, because of the trust we had in them, because of the fact that they were highly regulated and they were very compliant with those regulations. And most importantly, because we had confidence in them, that if anything happened, they were there to support us and they would get us out of whatever issue we had. Because ultimately for us, the insurance was there to just de-risk our business. It was there to add confidence to what we were doing and to make sure that even if things didn't go as planned, the insurance company was there to support us and to cut our losses. Obviously, they're not going to cover everything, but as long as we were supported and our losses were cut short, it made it a lot easier for us to do that business. Secondly, we had faith in them because of how transparent they were, because of their management. I built a relationship with them over time, and I now understood how transparent and forthcoming they were as a company. So it made things a lot easier for them, and for us even, because ultimately it's about trust, and that's how you build relationships like this, and that's what takes you from point A to B. As long as a business, you're insuring your business so that you can have a support system. And we don't really believe in just anybody. You have to have a relationship with them, and that's built over time. So that's mainly why we had faith in them. So basically, we had an incident. We have a farm, an automated poultry farm in Kano and Abuja. The one in Kano is approximately takes about 40,000 birds. The one in Abuja, same thing. But we started with the one in Kano, and we had insurance and so on. But at some point, we had an issue where a lot of the birds were dying slowly, and we couldn't figure out what the problem was. So at some point, we contacted our insurance company and told them this was our issue. We have an issue. We're not sure what it is, but this is our position right now. This is when it started. This is where we are now, and please, we need your advice on how we can move forward. Very straightforward process. They acknowledged our complaint in the claims form. They
I sincerely apologize for that. There's something about trust, the currency of the world today, really. It's very important that you got to hear from someone who is, well, I call it on the receiving end, a good partner of Noor Takaful, and sees that putting his trust in Noor Takaful is worth it, all through to the end. So that was one of the major reasons why it was important for you to see that. Please, a round of applause for Noor Takaful. All right. So we're going to get on very quickly with our next batch of distribution. And I'm going to call very quickly to the stage a few of the directors to help with this. Can I please have the managing director of Noor Takaful, Mr. Rilwan Sumonu, here on the stage with me. Also, if I can have Major Bakar Yusuf join him. Please put your hands together as they come up. And coming up very quickly to receive on behalf of Trust Lib, I'm hoping that I have that pronunciation right. All right, on behalf of Trust Lib Resources Limited, please, can we have Mr. Tajuddin Sekoni up on stage? Mr. Tajuddin Sekoni. All right, there he is. Please put your hands together as he comes up. Oh, fantastic. There's a camera right there in front. If we can have another member of the board of directors, Mr. Lani Yusuf, can you please join them very quickly? One more. All right, Mr. Yusuf makes his way, and representing the next one to MG Valgas Limited. Receiving on behalf of MG Valgas is Ms. Chinyere Okafo. Ms. Okafo, please join us on stage. All right, thank you. Thank you, sirs. Yes. I'd like to call up another set of directors very quickly. If we can have Mr. Suleiman Lowell and Mr. Stephen Muiwa. Mr. Stephen Muiwa and Mr. Suleiman Lowell, please. All right, and we are presenting the next check to Auto Market Nigeria Limited. The representative of Auto Market here is Mr. Ahmed Olalekan Garuba. Mr. Garuba, had I known, sir, that you had Olalekan, would have added it there so that you would know it was you we were referring to earlier. Mr. Muya, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lowell. If I can have Hajia Zainab Abdurrahman of Jais Takaful, please, ma'am. And Mr. Yusuf Kazari. And the next check we are presenting is to Starlink Internet Services Nigeria Limited. Representing Starlink is Mr. Adekunle Ajayi. Mr. Ajayi, if we can have you up on stage, please. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Muya. Thank you, Mr. Kazari. If I could have the next set of directors, please, Ms. Hilda Ozo. If we could have you up, ma'am. Mrs. Forgive me. If we could have Mrs. Hilda Ozo up. And also Abiola Thompson. The final check we're presenting for this round is going to Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. And the representative here is Alhaji Folari Adeola. Alhaji Adeola, could we have you, sir? Thank you, ladies. All right, we'll take a very quick break at this point. We'd like to, the next step really is to invite to the stage some of the stockbrokers who will be sharing claims testimony. And I have the pleasure of inviting to the stage first a representative of Collinson Insurance Brokers, insurance brokers. Thank you. Caught that, didn't you? My apologies. So please, Collinson Insurance Brokers, if you could please come up to share a claims testimony. Forgive me, sir, I don't know your name, and so you'd have to give us thank you, the pleasure of starting off with an introduction, sure. Although I'm sure they want you in the center. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Maybe it's Biodu Olawale Cole. The ED from Collinson Insurance Brokers, a 42-year-old brokerage firm in Nigeria. I'm relatively new to insurance myself, about 3 years. And I have to say that I met Noor Takaful in my office one day because they're working with my company before I joined. And when you're new in insurance, you need to find friends that you can grow in insurance with. And I will say that Noor Takaful are one person that I met in my office, and we had various meetings. We gave them various opportunities to quote for different jobs, their flexibility on rates, their response time, the issuing of policies on time as well versus other insurance companies. All those sort of things endear to me because I'm like a customer service freak when it comes to my clients. I want them to get the best service. So I need partners that can help me do that and make me look good in front of my clients. Like I always tell the MD or New Dean, my account manager, I'm thanking you guys. Don't thank me for giving you business. Because if you don't make me look good with my clients, I won't get more business. You know, I've had so many claims, you know, that the clients should not have gotten as much as they got. You know, I'm saying that openly. But with Noor Takaful, we able to, something that DOA said in his interview, and I actually believe it as well, man. He said the smile he gets on his face when clients are happy with the claims they received. I genuinely believe he generally has a smile on his face when that happens because when I speak to him, I say, look, the clients are not happy with this amount. Can you please help them with this and this and that? He said, okay, no worry, we'll look into it, sir. And within minutes, sometimes hours, they respond and they always pay promptly as well, by the way, which is also very important. Well, I think the fact that they're always looking for ways to make your clients happy. And not all the insurance companies I work with have that same mentality. And I think to make things even better, the surplus sharing thing, you know, like I messaged one client today that co-insure the business with another traditional insurance company. I said, you are getting, you know, a few 100,000 surplus today. He said, why? You don't mean it. I say, it was not just marketing slogan, it's actually the truth. You've not claimed the surplus performed well, so you're going to get some money back. He said that, well, upon renewal, we have to cancel the other insurance people and just go straight to Takaful. You know, that's why I just got back today, you know. So I think for me, even the HMO side of the business as well, which just started, we sell a lot of HMOs within our company. And for me, I only sell stuff I can vouch for. And so I've used various HMOs in the past, and once Noor Health launched, they said, give us a chance. And I said to you that I have to try you first before I can push it to my clients. And other HMOs I spoke to about certain hospitals I want to use on the island, like Lagoon, Ave Maria, the various dentists, optical people. Within a matter of days, they signed up all these partners on board. Other HMOs were saying, no, we don't work with them, their rates are too high, you know, this and that, plenty story. But with Noor Health, I went with Noor Health for my company for the HMO, because all the hospitals you wanted to have on board, they signed them up. You know, and even when I went for a checkup in the hospital just yesterday, I just asked them, so have you got any more customers from them apart from me? They said not yet, but one thing I have to say is that time you came last time, they paid within 24 hours. You know, invoice we sent to them. Whereas the other HMO I had before, the same hospital was saying to me that this HMO you're using, you should not use them, sir, because they've not paid your bill from last month. And, you know, they're always hagging back and forth with us. So I think just even not for the clients alone, even for their partners, like the hospitals they work with in the health service, they look after them very well as well, which makes life easier for us, the enrollees, to get prompt service when we go to the hospital. So I can't sing, dance, shout loud enough about Noor Takaful and Noor Health, because they are very fair. They look after your clients, look after my clients, make me look good for my clients. Make me look good for my clients. I'll love you more than anything else in the world, man. So thank you, Noor Takaful. Keep on doing the great work you're doing, guys. Thank you.
I think Mr. Cole has done a good job of plugging in Noor Health very quickly there. And I'm sure when you came in, you stopped at the exhibition area for Noor Health. Did anybody score a 20? Did anyone go through? Did you score a 20? No 20s. We're not very healthy in the room, are we? No shame, I scored a 9. I've been told to come back to do the test in 3 months. Please join me very quickly in welcoming to the stage a representative of Ratchbook Insurance Brokers, please. He also has a claims testimony.
Good afternoon. My name is Kunle Ajayi, FD. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm MD CEO of Ratchbox Insurance Brokers. It's a kind of testimony because I think 5 years ago I started dealing with Takaful, and I can testify to you that they have about 40% of our production of our businesses. And I can't remember for one day that I have to call either the MD or the VC for any claim. And that shows that the organization have a system. They have employees that will always respond to your needs at any time. And for us, it gives us a confidence because as a broker, all you're interested about is getting a claim for your client. We don't pray for it to happen. But when it does, you see the confidence. I could remember one time, we have a client, but we spread their risk to 2 insurance companies. And when that client called that there's a claim, the first question that comes is, I hope it's with no. Because, if it is no, you have less wahala, less problem. So, and that has made us to increase even our business patronage. I can tell you within the shortest possible time, this is a client that you know what? I don't know no. You are the one that put me to know. I hope they will be up to it. And I can testify that that client also is going to participate from the surplus this year again. And the confidence is so there that the next thing you hear is, I hope you are giving it to no. So, for us as the players, they have been able to build that confidence among the brokers. And all I can say is they should continue. They should not relent, especially with the new introduction of a NERA Act. They should look into it and make sure that they break many grounds. And with this, I can tell you that they are going to excel. They have been able to do 400. They are moving to 1 billion next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our last round of checks distribution this afternoon. Something about the ambience of the room makes me want to say morning. All right. Can I please invite very quickly to the stage the next set of directors who will be helping us to distribute the next set of checks. If you just... All right. If I can please have the following members of the management team at Noor Takaful, Mr. Taufik and Mr. Odunton. Can you please join us up? Adedunton or Dedunton. All right, I'm going to leave here with a certificate in Yoruba language today. Mr. Dedunton, please, can you join us up on stage? All right, if we can have the check for Cardinal Stone, thank you. And receiving this on behalf of Cardinal Stone is Ms. Ibo Soko. I think she's making her way. All right. Thank you. Thank you, sirs. If I can have up on stage the DG of CIIN, Dr. Bimbola Tiamiyo, and Mrs. Onokomaya, who is head of Women in Insurance Pillar. If we could have you up on stage, please. Oh, fantastic. They are presenting the next check to Mesovest Limited. And receiving on behalf of Mesovest is Omo Bolanle Adewale and Mowaleola Adefenti. Forgive me, I know I've not pronounced that second name properly. All right, please put your hands together as they make their way. Thank you. We're presenting one last check, ma'ams. Forgive me. Forgive me, one more. I was told at the Noor Health desk that walking is very important, so perhaps they'll bump you up a number before the end of the day. Thank you so much. All right, can we have the check for Globus Bank, please? And it's our final check for the day. Can we invite to the stage to receive on behalf of Globus Bank, Olabode Olanike? Thank you very much. All right, a round of applause one more time. Thank you. So at this point, I'm opening up the floor very quickly for questions and answers. If you have any questions for Noor Takaful, Noor Health, or Raha by Noor, we'll be hearing from the chairman of Noor Health in a bit, so he might get the chance to answer your questions before he comes up. But the floor is open for questions. Are there any questions which will get the VC and the MD to respond to? Do we have any questions? Perhaps you want to be a partner. All right, I've got a question over there. Can we have the MD, Mr. Sumonu? All right, there he is. Any other questions in the room? And if you do have a question for Noor Health, we'll take it down, and the moment we have the chairman up, he will respond. If you give me a moment, let's have the MD on stage so he can respond to your questions. Any other questions so that we can prepare the microphones to get to you? Okay, so just introduce yourself, and if you can stand to your feet, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Igo Soko. I'm a representative from Cardinal Stone. Just speaking from the human factor point, how do you navigate ethical dilemma when legal compliance conflicts with what's best, especially for vulnerable clients? Thank you.
Sorry, excuse me, please. Could you please repeat the question, please? I didn't get that.
So I said, how do you navigate ethical dilemma when legal compliance conflicts with what's best, especially for vulnerable clients? Would you like me to make an example of what I'm trying to say?
Okay. Please go ahead.
Let's say an elderly person submits a claim. She just had emergency surgery. However, her claims are being disputed because she, used a vendor out of the network provider. But given the nature of that kind of incident where it was an emergency, what's the best approach to ensure that this client feels like you care, but also not entirely deflecting from the legal obligations? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. You see, just like it's been mentioned here severally, Takaful is all about equity and fairness and compassion. We've had instances like the one you just presented, whereby certain incidences are not covered under the scope of cover that is being presented under a Takaful plan. But what we've tried to do over the years is to put a face to the relationship we have with our clients. And how do I mean? In the instance you just presented, what we'll do at Noor Takaful is to follow through with your treatment. If it's not covered under the scope or the plan that we have with you, that does not mean we are going to turn it down 100% ab initio. We can give advices. We can give support. The instance you just presented, if it is out of the scope of the Takaful plan, there's little or nothing that we can do in such instances. But that does not mean we are going to leave you to yourself. We'll take our time to explain to you what is covered and what is not covered under the Takaful plan that you have. That is the essence of putting a face to a relationship that you have with your customers. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Are there any other questions, please? Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Yusuf Harun, popularly called Dr. Love, and I'm the CEO of Love for Health organization. I'm very happy and proud to see what I am witnessing here. And I also thank your ambassador, Alhaji Tajuddin Usamot here, who introduced me to come and see the great things you are doing. Based on my research in the US, and I had an MBA there, the healthcare system which you have introduced, the Noor Health, is something which our organization wants to partner with Noor Takaful Health so that we can take it to the next level here in Nigeria and even hopefully internationally. So I have to thank you very much for the great job you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Love. So one final question, please. If any. Okay, I don't think there's any.
Thank you very much to the Managing Director of Noor Takaful Insurance Limited. At some point last year, we had the pleasure of unveiling Noor Health. It's been a few months. And we get the chance to get, I don't know, I guess we'll call it a progress report of sorts, and to tell you what's possible when you partner with Noor Health. Please, I'm one of the few people in this room who has the pleasure to call him my chairman, very specifically. He used to be chairman of Noor Takaful, but they said a goodbye, and Noor Health has been very happy to welcome him with open arms. Please put your hands together as I welcome to the stage the chairman of Noor Health, Mr. Mutar Bakare.
Thank you. Good afternoon, esteemed guests, our regulator, board members, partners, and friends of Noor. I'm honored to stand before you today to open for your well-being a new chapter in Noor's story. The event you just witnessed reflects Noor's commitment to trust, transparency, and shared prosperity. A solid business built on transparency and shared prosperity will always deliver on its promises. That same vision drives our latest endeavor, which is Noor Health. Noor Health was founded to deliver healthcare with the same ethics and transparencies you've come to expect from the Noor name. We believe financial protection through Takaful is only part of well-being through social security and also requires access to well care delivered with dignity, innovation, and accountability. To us, quality healthcare is a right, not a privilege. In January 2024, we received approval from National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, and by November of the same year, Noor Health began operations as Nigeria's first ethical national health insurance, national health maintenance organization, HMO. Our mission is clear. We are here to set a new standard for care in Nigeria by promoting holistic wellness for individuals and communities, extending Noor's ethical service into healthcare insurance, deliver affordable and accessible healthcare to all Nigerians. While Noor Takaful secures livelihoods, Noor Health promotes and secures well-being with the same integrity and innovation that define our leadership in Takaful. Our promise is to provide health plans that are transparent in pricing and benefits, ethical in fund management, and responsive in claims and customer care. Looking ahead, Noor Health will use technology to make healthcare simple and accessible. We will expand our provider network to reach underserved communities and ensure healthcare is both accessible and affordable to all. Noor Health is committed to carrying the win-win approach, which is being celebrated here today, into healthcare so that Nigerians can secure both their finances and their health. I invite you, our regulator, partners, and participants to join us in building a healthier and more secure Nigeria for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that introduction to Noor Health. We are at the end of today's proceedings, today's celebration. But just before I call up the MD to say a thank you to each of you, I think it's worth it to stand here to say, please, sign up to Noor Health. Your health is important, very important. Noor Takaful, you tie your camel. You make sure that you are living ethically with your finances. But what's money without health? What's health without money? That's why Noor Health is there for you. And Raha by Noor, by the way, does tie up the lifestyle for you. So please, please, and please, when you make your way out, the exhibition area is available to you. Go and check whether you have hit a 20 out of 20, or you're like me and you need to resit for exams in 3 months. Your health is important. Having said that, please put your hands together for the Managing Director of Noor Takaful, who comes to give a thank you message.
Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we draw this holistic surplus distribution event to a close, I stand here filled with gratitude. Today's success is not ours alone. It is a collective achievement made possible by the support, guidance, and trust of many. First and foremost, I wish to extend our deepest appreciation to the Commissioner for Insurance, Mr. Olusegun Omosheyin, ably represented by Mr. Julius Odidi, Head of Lagos Office NICOM. the Registrar of CRN, Mrs. Abiola Tiamiyu, the President, NCRIB, Prince Tunde Oguntade, ably represented by Mrs. Funke Adelusi, the Vice President of NCRIB, and the President, Professional Insurance Ladies Association, that is PILA, Mrs. Bimbo Onokomaya. Thank you for gracing our occasion. Our heartfelt thanks also go to our keynote speaker, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika. The insights shared today, which will remain a guide as we move forward, sharing the two choices that you made as a young businesswoman is very inspiring. We equally recognize and appreciate our chairman of the board of directors, Ambassador Ahmad Shuaib, and the other directors of Noor Takaful for their unwavering guidance, vision, and support in driving our mission. Like I have personally always said it, I happen to be the most fortunate CEOs as far as the insurance industry is concerned. Why? Because of the directors that I have. I see in you grace. I see in you opportunities. I see in you support. And when I look behind me and I see you guys, I always believe the sky is just the beginning for us at Noor Takaful. So thank you so much for being our directors. And also to the directors of Noor Health, ably led by Mr. Mukhtar Bakare. Thank you so much for gracing this occasion as well. And to our brokers, we are truly grateful for your continued partnership and confidence in Noor Takaful. To our participants and beneficiaries of surplus, we thank you for entrusting us with your protection needs. Today's distribution is a testament to the unique value of the Takaful model built on fairness, transparency, and shared prosperity. Finally, to the entire staff of Noor Takaful, the humans of Noor, I say a very big thank you to you. Your dedication, professionalism, and hard work are the real engine behind our achievements and milestones. On behalf of the management of Noor Takaful Insurance Limited, I sincerely thank every one of you here today for your presence and support. Together, we are not just building a stronger company, but contributing to a more inclusive and resilient financial system in Nigeria. Thank you all, and may Almighty Allah continue to bless our efforts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MD. Ladies and gentlemen, here's to another year of supporting families, protecting businesses, and rebuilding dreams. Noor Takaful continues to keep promises, and when we meet next year, it will be a promise kept. Thank you so much for joining us today. So please, as you go through, and you're still encouraged to revisit the exhibition area, please. Maybe you'll win another prize, who knows? There'll be a raffle on the other side. Thank you.